Hey yo, welcome to Off My Cuff. I thought I'd cover something rather important today. I thought I'd cover the Toronto raids. You see, I covered them last week, and I've got a few people who seem to have differences of opinion as to what went down there. And I think we need to really come to terms with this because there are people. I'm very surprised at this. There are cannabis users who feel that this was justified, that this was normal, that this was okay. They use the fact that some of these, and one of them said all of these stores were illegal. They were not gray, they were black. Some of these were dealing directly with non medical patients in preparation for what has already been deemed by Canada as an important move, and that is to work towards recreational. But what people seem to be missing, yes, there were some that were jumping the gun on a law that's about to come, but what people seem to be missing, and this is the hippie in me coming out, these are their rights. Growers have every right to sell what they grow. If you grow something, you have the right to sell it or use it or not. Throw it away. It's about people's rights. Now, before I go any further, I really want you to hear Kirk Tussell, a very knowledgeable lawyer about human rights. He's the one that won the Allard case. He understands that these people had rights. I want you to listen, please. Cheers.
The fact of the matter is these dispensaries are being operated largely or primarily in commercial zones. They're retail businesses like any other. But to the extent that city bylaws act as an absolute prohibition on the activity of people that are operating dispensaries, they're subject to charter challenge. And I very much expect that if there is a further crackdown from city bylaw officers, that the City of Toronto is going to find itself embroiled in expensive and lengthy charter-based litigation. Certainly, in terms of the raids that are happening today, you're going to see Toronto police officers on the witness stand in case after case after case. And we're paying overtime for that. If you're a Toronto and you're paying overtime, you're paying a lot of money to put these officers on the stand to try to explain why it was a good idea to crack down on sick people and those that provide them medicine.
That's the answer.
Thank you.
Question.
Let that sink in a bit. Let that sink in a bit. How was this a good idea? Please, any of you that think this is a good idea, I'm not saying any names, say why. Not say because the law said they shouldn't do what they're doing. Because I'm sorry, but maybe some people don't smoke cannabis and buy into the hippie lifestyle. But just because the law is there does not make the law just. Roosevelt himself said it is not only our privilege to challenge a law, it is our duty to challenge an unjust law to make sure that it becomes just or is gotten rid of. I added the last part, but that was a Roosevelt quote. Seriously, my friends, this is a plant. There is not one of you will ever talk me into feeling that it was justified making 90 criminals out of people who were in essence taking the criminal element off the street and actually saving our children. The only health risk the guy kept suggesting was kids, but he said we have zero evidence of any one of those places selling to kids. Zero. We have no evidence. He said we don't want any. We did this so we won't get any. You can't assume a crime will happen and arrest people on it. You can't drive yourself on assumptions of what may come out of this environment. The environment should have been given a quasi status quo and let it go. Monitor it. Put in some buy-in grabs. Go undercover. Try and find the ones that are truly doing wrong for their community. Everybody has this, there's a whole bunch of people out there to get money. No, I'm sorry. I honestly do not know a grower who grows for the cash. They grow because they love growing, they love their plants, they love what they do. Yes, there's bad elements in everything, and that's why we need to stop our police across this country from arresting people on laws that are already deemed as wrong and unjust and against our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But they should be forced to wait until there's a law that they can enforce with proper regulations. And those police should take this time to educate themselves about the truth with marijuana. Then maybe we wouldn't get there. That's Hurtin' Hippie doing his off mic off. I know that you won't all agree with me, but I hope you'll keep following me. Peace and cheers, love and harmony. Wrong button.